Hello, Shiners. I came across a story that I want to share with everyone. It's such a beautiful story. So here it goes. It's called I Love My Garbage Man. I had been working much too long on this job. I guess things could have been worse. I certainly wasn't doing hard labor, but going door to door asking questions as a representative of the federal government wasn't the most satisfying position either. It was hot. I had to wear a tie. Hello, my name is Bob Perks, and we are doing a survey in this neighborhood. I'm not interested. Goodbye. Slam. Lock. You can't imagine how many times I heard that. I finally caught on and began with, before you slam the door, I'm not selling anything. I just need to ask a few questions about yourself and the community. The young woman inside the doorway paused for a moment, raised her eyebrows as she shrugged her shoulders, confused by my rude introduction. Sure, come on in. Don't mind the mess. It's tough keeping up with my kids. It was an older home in a section of the valley where people with meager income found affordable shelter. With the little they had, the home looked comfortable and welcoming. I just need to ask a few questions about yourself and family. Although this may sound personal, I won't need to use your names. This information will be used. She interrupted me. Would you like a glass of cold water? You look like you've had a rough day. Well, yes, I said eagerly. Just as she returned with the water, a man came walking in the front door. It was her husband. Joe, this man is here to do a survey. I stood up and politely introduced myself. Joe was tall and lean. His face was rough and aged-looking, although I figured he was in his early 20s. His hands were like leather, the kind of hands you get from working hard, not pushing pencils. She leaned toward him and kissed him gently on the cheek. As they looked at each other, you could see the love they held. It just held them together. She smiled and tilted her head, laying it on his shoulder. He touched her face with his hands and softly said, I love you. They may not have had material wealth, but these two were richer than most people I know. They had a powerful love, the kind of love that keeps your head up when things are looking down. Joe works for the borough, she said. What do you do? I asked. She jumped right in, not letting him answer. Joe collects garbage, I'm so proud of him. Honey, I'm sure the man doesn't want to hear this, said Joe. No, really, I do, I said. You see, Bob, Joe is the best garbage man in the borough. He can stack more garbage on the truck than anyone else. He gets so much in one truck that they don't have to make as many runs, she said with such passion. In the long run, Joe continues, I save the borough money. Man hours are down and the cost per truck is less. There was silence. I didn't know what to say. I shook my head, searching for the right words. That's incredible. Most people would gripe about a job like that. It certainly is a difficult one, but your attitude about it is amazing, I said. She walked over to the shelf next to the couch. As she turned, she held in her hand a small framed paper. When we had our third child, Joe lost his job. We were on unemployment for a time and then eventually welfare. He couldn't find work anywhere. Then one day he was sent on an interview here in this community. They offered him the job he now holds. He came home depressed and ashamed, telling me this was the best he could do. It actually paid less than we got on welfare. She paused for a moment and walked toward Joe. I have always been proud of him and always will be. You see, I don't think the job makes the man. I believe the man makes the job. We needed to live in the borough in order to work here, so we rented this home, Joe said. When we moved in, this quote was hanging on the wall, just inside the front door. It has made all the difference to us, Bob. I knew that Joe was doing the right thing, she said as she handed me the frame. It said, if a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep the streets even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause. Here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well. Martin Luther King. I love him for who he is. But what he does the best. I love my garbage man. Wow. Wow. You know, it teaches us so much that truly the material things in this world does not mean anything. It's the love that you witness that a family has for each other. I have seen some of the most humblest people in the world with nothing, absolutely nothing, scraping, getting eggs from their chicken to make breakfast and dinner, and I've seen a lot. I also know that it makes me humble. And I also know that in my 20s, I was selfish, not having much myself growing up, and then getting out of a relationship that was abusive and finding myself. I had a very well-paying job. When I always talk about healthy self-esteem, there's a difference between having healthy self-esteem and being egotistical, and also having an ego, and also the difference between being confident versus conceited. I think there comes a point in time when in life sometimes we are like that. We do get selfish, and God makes us humble real fast. And if you don't get humble, well, he'll make you humble. He'll make you humble quick. But I have seen just amazing people, a lot of amazing people with hardly anything, but you see them struggling. But I see the love, and I see the laughter, and I see, like, wow, how they do this, How they still, can laugh and do this. How else? How else, guys? Truly. God is so powerful. That story actually speaks so much, and I could go into a whole story, but the video would go on for hours, and I don't want to do that. I want to make this video short and sweet. But I hope that it actually helps people, and also that you realize that material things don't mean anything. Yes, having nice things is nice, but material things are not everything. They don't mean anything. Not when you come across families that are struggling and you see it, you witness it, but you see these little kids laughing and playing and smiling and loving, and their parents or their parent laughing and smiling and struggling, don't even know how they're going to pay their electric or their rent, but yet you see them just still laugh and still love. You see the warmth and the love. You've witnessed it. You witnessed it. Then you come home and you're like, wow. It keeps you humble. It keeps you so humble. To me, the ones that do struggle to make ends meet are the most beautiful ones in this world. And we have to always remind ourselves that stay humble. And always remember that as long as you know what God is with you, He'll always help you. He'll always get you out of any type of trial and tribulation. Lean on Him. Lean on Him. Because that's when He's the closest to you, is when you're going through trials and tribulations in your life. He is closest to you. Trust me. I could go on and tell you all kinds of stories about my life. But like I said, it would be like a video that would take forever and ever and ever. So I hope that story helped, and I just want to say God bless all of you. Stay positive, stay humble, and I hope you guys like this video. Thank you. God bless you and your family.